So we're out here at good old sunny Stroud in New South Wales, Australia, for the 2019 global launch of this amazing new WR450F. I've been ripping around for the last 2 days. Greenie's property on the first day, and then the second day we got out and smashed it out, did about 90 Ks worth of trail. For this launch of the new WR450, we thought, why not have 2 test riders? So I got myself and we got Matty Prott, who's done bits and pieces with us over the last few years, done a lot of track building for our Transmoto events. So we've both been doing a bunch of riding over the last couple of days, absolutely in love with this new bike. It's a new bike from the wheels up. The last few years, mainly if you go back to the 2016 model, or the last big major overhaul, it was an amazing bike, but it still wasn't that hard-nosed kind of super capable enduro bike if you wanted to go race it off-road. This new bike is amazing. They're calling it the bike for everything. And it really is. You kind of jump on it straight away. It feels incredibly lighter, a lot slimmer, and with the addition of the power tuner, you can tune it to whatever conditions you like and whatever riding style you have. What do you think of the new bike, Matt? Like, where do you think these new changes translate into the bush and the stuff we've been riding the last couple of days?
I love it. I think it's definitely an advantage having the power tuner app and being able to tune on the go with your phone.
It sure is. Like with this new switch, you got a standard mode and then you've got this what they're calling the blue switch mode, which is basically your second map, which is kind of your traction map. So the first crack of the throttle is a little bit muted. So when you're in the tight kind of singly stuff, don't have that motocrossy snap like the old bike did. You can have it still quite aggressive when you're out on the grass track ripping around, but then you can dull it down just that little bit. So when you're kind of trying to split trees or just the slow speed stuff, you can just a little bit more throttle control off the bottom. And then you can take that a whole next step further, connect your phone up to the thing with Wi-Fi and change the fuel and the ignition timing to suit however you like. It's been really awesome around here because it's been really quite tight and a lot of off-camber stuff. So I found dulling that down just a little bit, found it a lot better for that kind of stuff. And then when you're out riding the grass track, riding kind of the fire roady stuff, it was really good just to let the bike rip. So let's talk about the bodywork of the machine. They're saying it's 18 mils narrower combined, 9 mil either side between your knees, and 19 mils lower in the rear, with a seat height that's about 10 mils lower than before. I found that really good because it didn't have that kind of big, didn't feel like a big bike. Like it's a 450, but it felt manageable, felt more like a 250. And the rear didn't seem to kick nearly as much when you're kind of coming in and getting kicked in the bum through braking bumps or anything like that. What's some kind of other standout things to you, Matt? You've been talking about the side stand.
Yeah, this year, 2019 WRs, they've sort of reconfigured how they mount the side stand on the side here to tuck up right behind the side plate here. I know from my experiences from previous years, sometimes you'll find the side stand like smacking the ground and stuff when the rear shock's compressing, but we haven't had any troubles with that this weekend, so
No, not at all.
it's definitely a help.
So there's a few things that stood out. Another few things that really stood out to us is stuff like removing the Speedo cable. We used to have this big clunky cable that went down to like a big plastic box that now runs off a magneto, and it's a digital Speedo system that reads back to your display up the top, which is overall is a really nice package that plays into the new design of the headlight. Even things like the clutch, like you were saying how much you like the clutch for being cable.
Absolutely, for a cable clutch, it's one of the best clutches I've ridden with. Smooth as butter, can't fold it at all. It's one of the better clutches I've had and ridden with, absolutely. Especially
being a 450 and thinking it's cable, you come preempted being like, oh, it's going to have a big kind of heavy clutch on it.
Yeah.
Especially when you compare it to like a hydraulic system on a European bike or even some new Japanese manufacturers that are kind of going down that route.
Absolutely, and for the tighter stuff where you are on the clutch, it just makes it that much easier on the arms. I know I suffer from arm pump quite a lot in those tighter sections, so to have such a smooth feeling cable clutch, it's amazing.
Well, talking about bodywork and ergos, the major thing about this is it's kind of transitioned from the 2018 YZ450 to the 2019 YZ250. And the whole kind of package is now translated into the enduro range with this WR. So that's everything from the new airbox design, which has gone from a 3-piece Zeus clip to the one. You agree? It's a lot easier and nicer finish on it.
Absolutely. It's at the end of the day, simple is better, and it's a lot more simple, a lot easier, a lot neater finish.
Even down to servicing, like it's really simple just to pop the thing off and you can completely remove it out, and you've got a new filter that's a lot more slimline and a lot easier to wash and get to without having to line up your shrouds, and the old intakes that came through, they're now a lot slimmer and a lot nicer finish.
Absolutely, one clip and she's out.
That's it. And being out here in a hot summer's day, it was really hot and the bikes were working, and having the thermo fan really works with the bikes and keeping them really nice and cool. One thing we did notice was with this electric start system, you got to be really particular in the way you start it. It didn't really like being started in gear, it much preferred being started in neutral. And up on the throttle, you've got these 2 indicators, and then on your grip, you've got another indicator, and you just got to get it in between the 2 and it'll start perfect every time. Another thing we should note with this bike is to reduce the weight and to bring it down to the 110 kilo dry weight this now thing is, which is a very competitive weight. They've had to remove the Kickstarter, which in theory is a good idea, but kind of, what do you reckon? Like when you're out in the bush, it can be a little bit of a downside, but it's something that a lot of manufacturers are turning towards now.
Absolutely, you can't deny the fact that everyone's going to electric start. I think for the sake of peace of mind, I would rather have a kickstart on there than not have one. But the batteries are getting better these days, and electric starts are only going to get better as well.
And you kind of bank off the fact that Yamahas are reliable, and you know it's a proven system. It's not coming straight out of the box with lithium batteries, so we're in this varying kind of conditions. In the cold, lithium can be a bit of a pain to start, so they've gone from stayed with the old lead battery. So that's where you can save a kilo straight out of the box, is bolting in a lithium battery.
Absolutely.
What else kind of top line stood out to you about this amazing new machine?
I think just definitely having the 2 maps. I think it can only be beneficial in the best ways, like just being able to change maps on the go, change everything like the click of a button on your phone.
Yeah, definitely. And to be able to come right in there and race log things, like day one, it was really quite dusty and gnarly and quite rocky, so we kind of firmed up the front a little bit so it wasn't diving into corners and stuff, and even when you're setting a sag, like we went from 114 mil down to 104. And just to be able to log that in with where you are, what track conditions are like, what your suspension settings is, what maps you're running, all the sort, is only going to make the machine easy to work on in the long run.
Absolutely, and also keeping track of maintenance and all the hours and stuff that you're logging into your phone, it just makes it that much easier than trying to do it by yourself in the shed.
Yeah, gone are the days of relying off an hour meter and trying to find your manual that's buried deep in your garage.
Absolutely.
You get notifications when your bike needs minor services and major services. So
absolutely. Yeah. Click of a button.
Yeah. So we can't wait to spend more time on this bike. We've been lucky enough to have this thing over the next couple of months to develop further and have it on the fleet as a project bike. So that's our kind of top line insight after riding this bike for a couple of days at the international launch here. We can't wait to ride it more.